Good evening, everyone. I almost made it back up here before I was out in the audience. Let's start our Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 North Liberty City Council meeting. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
May I ask for just a pause for just a second, please?
No problem.
Everything's great with new systems when they work.
That's always the case. For those of you that don't know, we also have a new software that's printing out our agendas, and that is likely what Tracy is contending with right now. So the city council gets to be the guinea pigs for it.
It is. Courtney.
And you all.
Here. I'm ready now.
Are you ready now?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Courtney. Here. Leibold.
Here.
Park.
Here.
Smith. Wason.
Here.
Thank you. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. There are no changes to it. Could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Leibold. Are there any questions? Tracy, roll call. Or I'm sorry, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Item 4 is our consent agenda. Is there anything on there for questions? Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions about this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda carries. Item 5 is public comment. Now is the time for anyone in the audience wishing to address council on an item that's not already on our agenda. You are welcome.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and member of North Liberty City Councilor. My name is Mazahir Saleh. I'm a resident of Iowa City. I'm also the Executive Director of Immigrant Welcome Network of Johnson County. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. At the Immigrant Welcome Network of Johnson County, we are following a bill at the state legislature, HF 2296. This bill would prohibit county and cities from issuing community ID. It is expected to be debated in the Iowa House as soon as tomorrow. Johnson County is currently the only county in Iowa operating community ID programs. That means this bill would directly eliminate an existing local program that serves residents across our county, including family who live here in North Liberty. The community ID is not a driver license. It cannot be used to vote. It cannot be used to access state or federal benefit. It cannot be used to board a plane. It is a limited local identification card designed to help residents interact safely with local institutions, including law enforcement and emergency response. What we have seen in practice is that when people have a basic form of identification, trust increases. People are more likely to report crimes. Witnesses are more likely to come forward. Parents engage more confidently with the school. Seniors who no longer driving still have a valid kind of identification. Survivors of crime are less fear of seek help. This is about public safety and local control. HF 2296 would override a local decision made here in Johnson County. It would remove ability for our communities to determine what tools work best for our residents. Because this debate may happen tomorrow, I respectfully ask the North Liberty City Council to take immediate action. First, publicly affirm your support for Johnson County Community ID program as a tool that strengthens safety and trust, and you have been doing that, but please do it again. Second, contact Speaker Pat Cressley and your state registration tonight or first things tomorrow morning to express concern about HF 2296 and its impact, and it would have North Liberty, and its impact on North Liberty residents. Your voice as a local elected official carry weight. This program affects your constituent, and this is a moment where local leaders matter. North Liberty is a home for immigrants, families, senior, working families, and vulnerable residents who benefit from inclusive policy that strengthens trust and cooperation. Protecting tools that improve safety is in the best interest of entire community. I respectfully ask you to act quickly and to help ensure the bill does not move forward. Thank you for your leadership and for your continued commitment to keep North Liberty safe and strong for all the residents. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bijou Maliabo. I'm a leader in the Congolese community in Johnson County and a former board member of the Center for Worker Justice of Eastern Iowa. Through my work there, I saw firsthand how this program helped people. I was directly involved in advancing the Community ID program in Johnson County. At the Center for Worker Justice, we work with people from Latino America, Africa, the Congo, Sudanese, and many other communities. People who were working, raising families, and contributing to the Iowa City, yet living in fear because they lacked identifications. That fear had real consequences. People were afraid to report crime, afraid to speak with police, and afraid to come forward as witnesses. That silence made our entire community less safe. The community ID changed that. It reduced fear, built trust, and made people more willing to cooperate with law enforcement and access local services. That benefit immigrant communities, and it strengthens public safety for everyone. Community ID do not create danger. Fear does. And this program reduces fear. As this program is being challenged at the state level, the North Liberty, Iowa City, Coralville, and all Johnson County must continue to lead. I urge you, City Council members, to stand firmly behind the Community ID, communicating its public safety value to state legislators, and support law enforcement voices who knows this program works. This is a local solution to a real local need, and we have to see it work. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience wishing to make comment tonight? All right, thank you again. I will close public comment and move on to some updates from the North Liberty Community Pantry first, Ryan.
Hello, thanks for having me tonight. My name is Ryan Bopst. I'm the Executive Director at the North Liberty Community Pantry. And I wanted to thank this City Council and previous councils for your investment in our Planting New Roots campaign through ARPA grant funds, and wanted to give you an update on the transformational year we had in 2025. So as most of you know, our mission is to engage our community in feeding, clothing, and connecting our neighbors to resources and services. We believe everyone has the right to be free from hunger, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, and that everyone deserves to make their own choices or have self-determination. We believe that everyone can access food, but in 2025, we did serve a record 4,446 individuals, 71% of whom resided in the city of North Liberty. We also serve residents from other surrounding rural towns in Johnson County. And we learned in 2025 that now 1 in 7 North Liberty residents shop at the pantry. So I'd like to play a video to hear from one of those residents. Darcy.
I moved back to North Liberty, which is my hometown, in 2019, and it was a rough time. I had my oldest son, his girlfriend, my boyfriend, and 2 dogs, and worked at an average wage. It was like $10 an hour to support this whole family. I learned about the pantry here in North Liberty, and ever since, I depend on the pantry, because I do. It may not be every week, maybe twice a month, once a month. And the resources you guys gave me was phenomenal. Represented by Welcoming Islands. It's like a home sweet home. And I love this place.
That worked really well. Thank you. And thanks to Darcy for sharing her experience, but that's just one example of many residents that we're working with here in town. As many of you also know, we follow Feeding America's research-informed shopping choice model. So we have the pantry set up like a grocery store where people get to pick their items, and that is often one of the best positive pieces of feedback we get from neighbors, that I love that you're set up like a grocery store. I get to shop with dignity. So as a reminder of where we came from January through June of 2025, if you look and squint really closely, you can see our Director of Operations, Leslie Alvarez, in between many pallets of food. And what was a quote-unquote walk-in freezer was a wall of boxes. We were serving so many residents that we had to source so much food. We literally ran out of space multiple occasions and had to ask Fairway and Field Day Brewing Company both to store meat for us on separate occasions. To where we are now. We were able to break ground and move in, had our first full month at our new facility in July of 2025. And that really allowed our service to take a step up. This is a 10,500 square foot facility that brought food and clothing together, created a private meeting space for neighbors, dramatically expanded our capacity, and greatly improved our efficiency. One of my favorite quotes from a new neighbor who came in the first week we were open at our new facility is that she shared, "We watched this place get built. I've been eyeing it for months. I'm glad I had the courage to come in." And that's because we were intentional about trying to make this look and feel like a grocery store. Opening our new facility was truly transformational. As you can see, we had a lot of community support. We had a lot of new space to share with our neighbors, and share with our neighbors we did. We had quite the jump in service in 2025. Again, a record-setting 4,446 unique individuals served. And one of the great transformations was what it looked like before we moved. 2,800 individuals served, and after we moved, we were able to serve 41% more people, because we had that much more space. We also have these private meeting spaces where we can bring services on site so that neighbors don't have to make an extra trip to Iowa City, for example, for Johnson County Social Service Navigators and Johnson County Public Health, just as some few early partners to get to use this space. We saw a jump in visits to the pantry, over 25,000 visits for the first time in 2025, more than double what we did in 2022. And again, our visits jumped 64%. Pre-move was just under 10,000 to post-move just under 16,000. Per shift, I share this because now we're averaging 86 unique shoppers every time we're open for a 2.5-hour shift. 86 is the number that was the record at our old facility. So that would have been pretty impossible to maintain at our previous location. Thanks to our friends at Greater Iowa City and Evan, we're able to look at some data on the improved efficiency that this provided. This shows the average length of a visit in minutes. So before we moved at our old location, the average length of a visit was 71 minutes for a person to shop. And after we moved, our average length of visit dropped to 42 minutes. So almost a half an hour back into our neighbors' lives every week. The clothing pantry is now just down the hall, not down the parking lot or in a building that people forget it exists. And that utilization and that visual acuity was really key to serving and distributing almost 64,000 clothing items in 2025. Dramatic growth once we opened at our new space, a 239% increase once we moved. And per shift, you can see the volume has increased. And looking at our food pantry, 918,219 pounds of food distributed, more than double what we did in 2022. We saw a 53% increase in food distributed after we moved. Over 555,000 pounds distributed to neighbors. Over 3,000 pounds per 2.5-hour shift is what we're now averaging. We could not do the service that we do without the Judy Bonnet Volunteer Program and our over 330 active volunteers. We named our volunteer program in Judy's honor because she was an amazing person. If you didn't have the chance to meet her, she volunteered at the pantry for 15 years and logged over 7,500 volunteer hours. She was a compassionate person who did literally everything for the pantry, from picking up food from Panera on Friday nights to mowing the lawn at the old facility. But the new facility allowed us to bring in and welcome more volunteers. So we had over 17,500 hours of service in 2025, a pretty big jump from last year. One of the perks of volunteering is that you frequently get to hold very cute children, so that's fun. But we saw an increase of 40% of volunteer hours once we opened the new facility. That means we went from an average of 6 volunteers on shift to an average of 10 volunteers on shift. And in case you saw our semi-viral social media post, you don't have to be named Steve or Bob to volunteer at the pantry. These were our 6 Steves and Bobs on one day. And big thank you to our volunteers. We have a very generous community, yourselves included, very compassionate place to serve our neighbors experiencing food insecurity. And you can see before, when we were over capacity, we were finding every inch in our old space of 2,400 square feet. And after, we have this tremendous warehouse that allows us to bring in more food for things like the SNAP disruption that we saw at the beginning of November, that we were able to utilize the floor space and bring in a lot more food donations. All of the food that's in these images was free to us, but there's no way we would have had capacity to receive it at our old location. Our transformation brought more food and clothing under one roof. It eliminated wait times. It helped us serve more than 4,400 people in 2025. And thanks to your investment through ARPA grants, you helped us raise more than $3 million so far. We only have about $600,000 to go before we've got the building completely covered, and then we can invest even more in food and clothing. Thank you for your time, and if there's any questions, please feel free to ask.
Ryan, thanks for coming in here tonight. We're
Thank you.
extremely grateful for your service and leadership at this pantry. I don't have any questions for you. I talk enough with you, it seems, in being in there. Do any of you have any questions for Ryan?
I don't have a question, but I just want to say, just looking at this, it's really awesome to see, like you had mentioned, the coming together of the community, and that's great, and great thing to see and continue. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
I would echo Mayor's and Tanya's comments, Ryan. Just the one thing on here, where can folks go? You mentioned just the $600,000 to go. Where can they go so that we can get it in the record and make it more visible and aware if they want to continue to either donate financially? That's probably the biggest need, but just a little bit of information that you can share.
Yeah, I appreciate that. nlcpantry.org.
Okay.
Is the main page, and then /donate for more information about donating, or /volunteer for more information about volunteering.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, next we have our friends from Greater IC for an update as well.
Be good. Just a moment here. Okay. My name's Nancy Bird from Greater Iowa City, Inc. Thank you very much for having us, Mayor and councilors. I brought my colleagues here tonight. I've got Tom Martinez, who is new to our team, Mackenzie DeRue, Katie Gerlach, and Evan Doyle. And tonight we're here to give a brief overview of your investment in us. I don't know how many of you made it to our annual meeting in November, but I've got a couple annual reports. And that's the full body of our work tonight, but we wanted to give a brief overview of a little bit about our mission, just as a reminder. With Greater Iowa City, Inc., our mission is to elevate businesses, invest in strategic initiatives, and really advocate for the economic resiliency of the county. We are, as a reminder, supporting the All-In Vision Plan. Katie Gerlach is the executive director there and has dual employment with us. We really are the engines of pillars 2, 3, and 4, the vibrant neighborhoods, a well-connected mobile region, and a thriving inclusive economic ecosystem. This is our Coalitions in Action, which is the name of our report. We have a lot of partners, and one of the things we really try to do is make sure that we're connected to them and that we're advocating for North Liberty and really our larger community the best that we can. We have a connected regional economy, and that's really our goal. One of the things that we're working on is to make sure that you know that we're monitoring the economic health of our community. That includes Johnson County. It also includes North Liberty specifically, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And as you have already been introduced to Evan Doyle, we've put together a community data dashboard so any of you can reach out and look at our website and look at the 8 different data measures across 8 topics: business and labor, market characteristics, housing. All of these are here at your disposal, so you can look as well. But tonight, we're going to keep this brief, but I'm going to turn it over to Evan to give a little bit of information about the economy, and we'll share our key highlights. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Mayor and Council, for the time. I think Nancy put it very clearly that as the Economic Development Organization, we should have a pretty good idea of how Johnson County is operating as a system. So I have some pretty high-level slides here, some for Johnson County, some for North Liberty specifically. One trend that we're always watching is population growth. It's no surprise Johnson County is a fast-growing county. We are the 3rd fastest-growing county in the state of Iowa in about the past 10 years. North Liberty is no exception to this growth. North Liberty, the city, has grown over 7,000 residents in that same time period, and the city population is now up to over 20,000 residents as of 2024. Industry mix, residents are one part of the puzzle. Business, labor, jobs, workers are another major part. So this is a nice chart showing the industry mix for private sector in Johnson County. You can see here that healthcare kind of dominates the industry in all of Johnson County. Retail, hospitality, manufacturing are also big players. This is private jobs only. We've looked at public and private jobs, and it is very similar to this industry mix. Workers are a big piece of the puzzle to jobs. So this is probably my favorite chart that I will be showing tonight. This is a nice flow diagram. It shows both jobs in North Liberty and workers in North Liberty. So that left arrow coming into the city shows the amount of workers who live outside of North Liberty and come into North Liberty to work every day. So 6,000 people live outside North Liberty, work in North Liberty. Over 1,000 people live and work in North Liberty. That's a relatively small amount, I would say. And 10,000 workers who live in North Liberty leave North Liberty and go work in a different place. So North Liberty is a net exporter of jobs. There's 11,000 workers in North Liberty and 7,000 jobs. And almost 2,000 North Liberty residents travel straight north to Lynn County every day for work. And you guys receive 1,200 Lynn County residents that work in North Liberty. So you guys are very much in the middle of North Liberty and Iowa City's labor market. This is a general list of North Liberty's top employers. We like to track top employers as well. Centro and Green State are some of the larger employers. This is not in any particular order. We track this data through business retention and expansion surveys. We're always looking to update this data. So if you guys know of any big employers or major changes, please do let us know. Major employers are one part, small businesses are very much so a different part, and I think that's a nice transition into the North Liberty Targeted Economic Development Grant Program that we've been administering in partnership with the City of North Liberty and you all for almost 2 months now. So I would like to say thank you for partnering with us on this grant initiative. These partnerships do strengthen how the grant itself is administered and implemented, so we do appreciate that. Grant applications opened Monday, January 5th, so almost 2 months ago now. There's $85,000 total dollars in grant dollars for this program. Grants are up to $10,000 per grantee, and there's 2 grant types available. And this is for locally owned and operated small businesses only. The only ineligibility that we determined was franchise businesses. So we really were trying to keep it local and targeted in North Liberty. Outreach and marketing, we did a lot of outreach through the month of January. We did news releases, media pushes, social media. I want to say another thank you to all the council members and city staff who showed up at our networking events, the lunch connections, the coffee connections. Word of mouth, straight referrals were really, really helpful for this grant. But just having your guys' presence at these events really does help the legitimacy of the grant program. So like I said, it's designed to support small business growth. Long-term tenancy is a big part of this, and then local economic development. Only one of these grant types required a 50% cash match that emphasizes the long-term tenancy part of this. Applications just closed this week because we reached a pretty good applicant pool. We have 30 applications from North Liberty businesses applying to this grant program. 19 of those applications were tenant improvement support grants. 11 of them were home-based business upgrade support grants. And I do think it's worth note that of a lot of the home-based business upgrade support grants, they were being applied for ineligible uses. So I'm not, the demand wasn't quite there to move to the North Liberty CoLab. A lot of those applications were asking for inventory, supplies, and things of that nature. In total, over $250,000 were asked for through the applications. Moving forward, like I said, the grant applications just closed this week. So we are moving forward with 10 applications at this time. I've been connecting individually with these grant applicants. I'm at the North Liberty CoLab every Thursday meeting individually with applicants to talk about their project, hear more about their business, and kind of just get them connected to Greater Iowa City also. Of the 10 that we've reached out to move forward with, 9 of these are tenant improvement support grants, and 1 of them is a home-based business upgrade support grant. Diverse industry mix of the 10 that we're moving forward with right now is a very good, diverse mix of businesses. 3 of them are retail, 3 of them are healthcare, which do match kind of the industry mix graph that I showed earlier for Johnson County. So not unusual that there's more of those. And then there's 2 accommodation and food services, 1 construction, and 1 professional service. There's an even split of businesses already in North Liberty looking to stay in North Liberty and businesses that are going to come to North Liberty because of this grant program. 50-50, 5 of them are here and want to expand. 5 of them want to come to North Liberty. Over the next month, 2 months, depending on the applicant's process, we will be cutting checks and highlighting recipients one by one kind of as those projects go. Each applicant is on a very different timeline in terms of their project. So it really is dependent on each individual application. A major part of the grant program is that we're requiring all recipients to attend 10 hours at Greater Iowa City's Business Resource Center. The Business Resource Center launched about a year and a half ago. We had 161 appointments in 2025. That was the first full calendar year of the Business Resource Center. And this year we're on track to beat that number by quite a bit. We've had 44 appointments so far this year already. And the Business Resource Center is one of many programs that we have at Greater Iowa City. And I think now is a good time for me to turn it to Katie Gerlach. Thank you.
How are we on time, Ryan? Okay. I'm Katie Gerlach, Vice President of Programs with Greater Iowa City, and going to talk a little bit today. You heard about our business support programs and some of our economic development and community development programs. Of course, events and connection are prioritized through all of our programs, and so we hope you've seen that as well as the annual report. I want to talk a little bit about our next steps with our Cherry Street Strategic Investment District. Many of you even participated in this charrette process and have helped us inform the plan. You were able to see the plan at the annual meeting and the launch. Wanted to talk a little bit about our implementation table and what comes next for Cherry Street. So we're going to be working with a neighborhood engagement task force, which will include property owners and the business entities that are within the district. We'll start that this year with property owner outreach and meetings. We're going to be reviewing programs and opportunities, as well as looking at regulatory updates and policy suggestions. We will also review for SMID potential and development. We'll also be talking about business support, looking at establishing successful commercial grant programs. So we are going to take the experience that we've had this year with our grant program and see if we can really target it into the Cherry Street Strategic Investment District in partnership with the city. We're always going to prioritize recruitment and retention, and really retention first, because we know that when we have successful businesses here, we can get them to stay here and grow here. That's number one. We'll also continue our BRC services. We're working on some redevelopment opportunities with, especially this year, looking at what would a pitch deck look like for a Cherry Street opportunity, what are some catalyst projects that we can work on, and then connecting them, the projects with our investor connections through our Heartland Forward partnership. We'll be working on looking at different branding, signage, and wayfinding in partnership with city staff as they review their own public art plan, as well as wayfinding and neighborhood activation. And really, to summarize what we're going to do this year in North Liberty is we're going to be looking at activating the private sector property ownership, working on a connection with a private sector property owner, as well as maybe potentially the Liberty High School Art Department for a public art installation that would be in line with the public art plan. Looking at affordable and attainable housing development and doing some education around density for neighbors and understanding what comes with certain densities or what opportunities there are for community growth. We'll continue to organize and engage with property owners and then incorporate our data analysis from Heartland Forward. And of course, as I said, we're going to prioritize business support and retention. We'd be happy to take any questions about our work together. But again, just thank you to all of you for the consistent support. I think we've seen a lot of momentum in North Liberty, and that's primarily due to your engagement.
Thanks, Katie. That's my only question is about the engagement that you're getting from the community at large, not just us. Has that been going well?
I think so. I think you've seen at the lunches, our lunch attendances and coffee connections are always expanding. We could always expand our presence in North Liberty, and so Evan has been here every week on Thursday in the CoLab, which has allowed us to really plug into some different opportunities. I think there's always additional opportunities for community engagement, and we partner with the library and with Abby Cobb's work with Welcoming America, and we're always looking for more.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Katie?
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
With that, I'll move on to item 6, which is our engineers report. Josiah.
Thanks, Mayor. I've got 4 project quick updates for you guys tonight. Just a heads up, the Centennial Park Splash Pad project is out to bid. We got a couple dates coming up. They'll involve you guys. We've got a pre-bid meeting on March 4th, a public hearing at the March 10th council meeting. Our bids will come back on the 17th of March, and we'll be looking at bringing those before you at the March 24th meeting for consideration. Forever Green Road in Jasper, just to note that the pre-construction meeting will occur in March. We've had correspondence with the contractor. The late start date for that project is April 6th, but we anticipate they'll want to get started sooner than that. We got 2 projects that I wanted to update you that are in design that will be coming to bid soon. One's the parking lot improvements for the community center parking lot. That's going to be bid in mid-April for consideration of those bids at the second meeting in April. And the other project is the Forever Green Road Extension Phase 1, which I mentioned in the past. That's a Corville-led project. It will be let by the Iowa DOT in May for construction later this summer. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thanks, Josiah. Nice to have some projects back in the queue. You guys have any questions for Josiah? All right, I'll move on to item 7, Ryan, which is our city administrator report.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I want to just provide a couple updates on what's coming up in terms of council work. At our next council meeting, we will have an update from the Shive team on the fire station project, which will also include an update on the parks and water maintenance shop expansions, which are directly related to the fire station project. We were hoping to have that on this evening, but just thought it would be best to, we just had a couple more loose ends to tie up, and so we wanted to push it 2 weeks before we rushed it. So we'll be coming to you with that on the March 10th. The other thing that we'll be visiting about and have some folks here in the audience at the next meeting is our design proposal for the next phase of our wastewater treatment plant. You'll recall we approved facility plans for water and wastewater in 2025. We're under design right now for the water project, and we will propose to move forward with design on the wastewater project at our March 10th meeting. So you'll see information on that in your next packet. And the last thing I had is just not related to the next meeting, but as an update to this group. I attended I guess attended or visited the Capitol yesterday. Kelly Hayworth and I rode over together to visit with our legislators, and there was a group of other Regent University communities meeting as well later in the evening. And the message was fairly bleak, and you just heard a similar message from Mazahir about some of the things that are happening at the Capitol, continuing to focus on taking away local control and just other opportunities for local governments. Now that the funnel has passed, or the first funnel has passed, we anticipate further dialogue from the legislators and the governor's office about property taxes. And again, there are three different bills out there with a lot of moving parts, or three different proposals out there with a lot of moving parts. And so we're trying to keep up on that. We're working closely with the League of Cities. Tracy's actually on a committee with that group to try to keep her finger on that pulse. And as we learn more, we'll reach out to this group, but know that it might be good to reach out to your contacts all across the state as things progress. I think our goal is to make sure that the folks making decisions understand how those decisions will impact us and our residents at the local level. So we'll continue to try to get information out to you on that. That's what I have tonight, Mayor, unless there are any questions from the group.
Thanks for being out there yesterday, Ryan. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it advocate. And thanks for the update legislatively. I've said this in the past, but hopefully we continue to monitor these things individually as well and do our part to be the voice of our community. Do you guys have any questions for Ryan? Nope. Okay. With that, I'll move on to the mayor's report. I have 3 proclamations to read tonight, and what I'm going to do is go through the proclamations individually, and then representatives that are here to receive them are welcome to provide comments, and then we'll save any photos to be taken until afterwards. So I'm going to start tonight with the International Women's Day and Women's History Month proclamation. Whereas we begin the second quarter of the 21st century, no nation has closed the gaps between men and women. And whereas right now in 2026, women have only 64% of the legal rights that men hold worldwide in fundamental areas of life, including work, money, safety, family, property, mobility, business, and retirement, the law systematically disadvantages women. And whereas from harmful social norms to discriminatory laws, women and girls continue to face entrenched obstacles, even pushback to equal justice. If progress continues at its current pace, it will take 286 years to close legal protection gaps. That is not a timeline, it's surrender. And whereas International Women's Day 2026, IWD 2026, under the theme Rights, Justice, Action for all women and girls, calls for action to dismantle the structural barriers to equal justice, discriminatory laws, weak legal protections, and harmful practices and social norms that erode the rights of women and girls. And whereas the Johnson County United Nations Association, along with local businesses and nonprofit organizations, are sponsoring the annual Night of 1,000 Dinners, a community celebration of International Women's Day on Friday, March 6th from 6 until 8 p.m. at St. Andrew Presbyterian Church in Iowa City. The event will advance United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. This year's honorees include Shelter House, the Housing Fellowship, the Immigrant Welcome Network of Johnson County, and UN Habitat. For more information, visit Johnson County United Nations website at johnsoncountyuna.org. Now, therefore, I, Chris Hoffman, Mayor of North Liberty, Iowa, do here proclaim March as Women's History Month and March 8th as International Women's Day, and call upon all residents to not only honor the remarkable achievements and leadership of women, but to take meaningful action toward eliminating barriers, advancing equity, and achieving full gender parity without delay. Is there anyone wishing to make comments on this? Bijou, thank you.
Hello, Mayor and Council Member, again. On behalf of the Johnson County chapter of the UNA USA and a representative for the North Central region for the National Council for the UNA USA, I'm truly honored to receive this proclamation recognizing our Night of 1,000 Dinners in celebration of International Women's Day. This evening represents more than a celebration. It is a commitment to uplift women and girls locally and globally. International Women's Day reminds us that when women are empowered, community prospers, and peace becomes possible. Through this nationwide initiative, inspired by United Nations, we gather around table to strengthen dialogue, promote equality, and connect our local community to global progress. As a board member of the Johnson County UNA USA, I believe deeply in citizen advocacy. I encourage everyone to contact your member of Congress and urge them to continue supporting the United Nations. The United States needs the UN, and the UN needs the United States. Global challenges require global cooperation. We warmly invite you again to join us on March 6th at 6 p.m. at St. Andrew Church in Iowa City. Come celebrate with us, stand for women's leadership, and be part of a movement that connects our community to the world. Thank you again for your support, and I hope to see you guys on March 6th. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second proclamation for the night is Black History Month. Whereas Black History Month is observed each February to honor the achievements, contributions, and resilience of Black Americans whose leadership, innovation, and service have profoundly shaped the history, culture, and progress of our nation, and whereas the history of Black Americans is an essential and inseparable part of the American story, marked by perseverance in the face of injustice and by extraordinary contributions in civil rights, education, science, government, business, the arts, and community life. And whereas Black History Month is not only a celebration of culture and achievement, but also a time of reflection, truth, and responsibility, calling upon us to confront the painful chapters of our nation's history, acknowledge the enduring impacts of injustice, honor the resilience of those who fought and continue to fight for equity, and recommit ourselves to advancing fairness, inclusion, and justice within our community. And whereas generations of Black leaders, activists, scholars, and community members have strengthened our democracy and expanded opportunity, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire future generations. And whereas the City of North Liberty is committed to fostering a welcoming and inclusive community that values diversity, promotes equity, and ensures that all residents are treated with dignity and respect. Now, therefore, I, Chris Hoffman, Mayor of North Liberty, do hereby proclaim the month of February as Black History Month and encourage all residents to observe this month through education, reflection, dialogue, and meaningful action that honors Black history and advances unity and justice for all.
Good evening again, Mayor and Councilor and staff. On behalf of the member of Immigrant Welcome Network of Johnson County who live in North Liberty. Thank you for passing this proclamation for Black History Month. As someone who has experienced displacement and I understand what it means to fight for dignity and belongings. This recognition means more than just word to me. Black history is a story of resilience, courage, and leadership in the face of injustice. It is also reminding that progress happens because ordinary people choose to stand up, speak out, and build strong communities. I appreciate you taking this time and to taking this moment to honor the history, and I hope we continue working together to ensure equity, opportunity, and belonging is real for everyone in our community. Thank you for honoring the month of Black History.
Thank you, Mazahir. And finally, a proclamation for American Heart Month. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Mayor Hoffman and City Council members. My name is Nema Maliabo, a North Liberty resident. I would like to personally thank you for this proclamation recognizing Black History Month. Black History Month is a story of perseverance, community, and people that believe that change was possible, even when deemed difficult. Congressman John Lewis often spoke about the importance of creating good trouble, the kind of trouble that moves us closer to justice and understanding. This month also invites us to recognize the promise and leadership of Black youth and the growing educational opportunities that exist today because of the sacrifices made by those before us. As access continues to expand, may we remain committed to ensuring that these opportunities are protected, strengthened, and shared. May this proclamation encourage us all to learn, to listen, and to keep building to a better future that is grounded in dignity, equity, and care for one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Nema. All right, I'll move to our proclamation for American Heart Month. Whereas heart disease remains the leading cause of death in the United States and affecting individuals, families, and communities across all ages and backgrounds, and whereas American Heart Month, observed each February, provides an opportunity to raise awareness about heart health and cardiovascular disease prevention, and whereas sudden cardiac arrest can occur without warning, and survival depends on the immediate activation of the chain of survival, including early recognition, prompt 911 activation, early cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, rapid defibrillation using an automated external defibrillator, AED, and advanced medical care. And whereas bystander intervention through hands-only CPR and AED use can double or triple a person's chance of survival, making community education and preparedness essential to saving lives. And whereas Pulse Point is a critical tool that empowers trained residents to respond to nearby cardiac emergencies, strengthening community responses and bridging the gap until first responders arrive. And whereas we reaffirm our commitment to bystander intervention, heart health education, and community collaboration to save lives and make North Liberty a safer, healthier place for all. And whereas we recommend local businesses, housing complexes, and hotels acquire an AED to help preserve life by bridging the critical time gap between paramedics' arrival. These devices are designed for untrained bystanders to use, providing simple voice and visual prompts to deliver life-saving shocks within minutes. Now, therefore, I, Chris Hoffman, Mayor of North Liberty, do hereby proclaim the month of February as American Heart Month in North Liberty and encourage residents to learn the signs of cardiac arrest, participate in CPR and AED training, and download and use Pulse Point. On that last note, I do have the Pulse Point app. It's been available for the last couple of years, and I would recommend go finding it on your app stores and downloading it as well. Now I'll take a moment for, I'm sorry, Diane, your remarks, and then we'll come together.
So I'm Diane Atkins, a retired pediatric cardiologist from the University of Iowa. And I'm here as a representative of the American Heart Association. I'm an active volunteer, especially in their CPR guidelines, but also as chair of the Rotary Kerber Heart Safe Community Campaign. This is a group of us because started after Dick Kerber, who was a cardiologist at the university, died, and he was very active in the development of the early CPR guidelines, as well as the widespread distribution of AEDs in community locations. And the mission of Rotary Kerber is to increase awareness about cardiac arrest, which is defined as the sudden cessation of cardiac activity. And so, as mentioned in the proclamation, the signs are unresponsiveness and not breathing normally. It's not the person who says, I have chest pain, who's sweating, who may be nauseated. That person is having a heart attack. The appropriate is 911 and to stay with them. But if they have a cardiac arrest, they are unresponsive and they are not breathing or not breathing normally, call 911, but then you must start CPR. So our first goal is to increase the awareness of cardiac arrest. It's the third largest killer in the United States a day. Today, 350,000 people will die this year of a cardiac arrest. The second is to provide training, especially through the Johnson County Ambulance Service, for CPR and automated external defibrillator use. And then our third goal is to provide AEDs on a cost-sharing basis to virtually right now any facility in Johnson County that wants it. And I know that we have provided several in North Liberty. I have on my PulsePoint AED map, and I'll describe this for you in just a minute, that depending on how I set the limits, there are somewhere between 35 and 40 AEDs from north of the Hy-Vee going out to Liberty High School and then to 380. But of all those AEDs, most of them are within buildings that have limited hours. And so they cannot be accessed 24 hours a day. We have provided external AEDs. You may have seen them around. They're in big yellow boxes that say down the side, Rotary Kerber, Heart Safe Community Campaign. And these AEDs are available by calling 911, getting the code from the 911 dispatcher, and then you can access that AED on a 24/7 basis. I actually went around and put the labels on, and I will say we were thinking that there was one in Centennial Park. I could not find it. I walked the entire park, and it's not located on the AED map. So my charge to you all is to find out where that AED is and put it in its place. These are heated cabinets because these are battery-operated devices, and batteries don't work well when it's minus 10 degrees outside. So that's why these yellow boxes are very important. The other thing I want to talk about that Chris referred to is PulsePoint. PulsePoint is an app that Rotary Kerber and the Johnson County Board of Supervisors have instituted in our county. When dispatch gets a call and they suspect a cardiac arrest, as well as sending out the ambulance, they notify all telephones that are within 1,000 to 2,000 feet of that particular person if they have downloaded the PulsePoint app. And if the person's phone goes off and they respond to it, then it will provide the directions as to where that person is, and you can do CPR before EMS gets there. The reason why that's important is that survival declines by 10% for every minute that goes by without CPR. So at 10 minutes, there's virtually no chance of a good survivable outcome. And as good as our Johnson County Ambulance Service is, and it's amazing, they can't get to almost any place in less than 5 minutes. So at that point, you're already down to 50%. But we know in communities that have PulsePoint, where people respond, that people tend to get CPR 2 minutes earlier than when EMS arrives. There is the PulsePoint AED app, which will locate AEDs for you. I've got mine up right now. And there's a big sign or a big signal for AED, and that's the AED that's in this building. So I know right away, and it gives me a picture down here. It tells me what room it's in. So I don't know this building very well, but I could find this AED probably pretty quickly because of this app. But you need to download it and be ready to learn to know CPR and to deliver it. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Now, anyone that was here for comments on the proclamations, we can get some photos here so you can present those out as well. Do this one first? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, Evan Cosmo. Heart monitor spike there. See, there's a grant.
I'll move on to item 9, which are council reports. And now is an opportunity for the council members to let our community know what they've been up to on behalf of the city since our last council meeting. If you have any reports, feel free to fire away.
I just got two things. Actually, we did have an MPO meeting after the last meeting, and just letting people know that they're working on the update to the long-range plan, which they do every several years. So they'll be asking for community input to that. And they did modify it a little bit to allow for the installation of some electric car chargers in the county along the interstate. And we'll see how that all shakes out in the future. It's not really a project that we're doing, but it's something that had to be on the project plans to get funding for at the government or federal level. And then as another state legislature filed, there's HSB 689, which is rolling through the system, and it concerns emergency management. Right now, the county, cities, and then the county all have equal responsibility for emergency management. And there's a bill proposing to allow the Board of Supervisors in each county to then just veto the bill or funding that the rest of the cities in the county would approve for emergency management. So we'll have to see where that goes. That's all I got.
Thanks, Brian.
I'll go next. Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things for me. First and foremost, congratulations to the boys and girls wrestling teams, as well as show choir, band, music students. This time with changing of the seasons, always there's a lot of activity going on at our local high schools, and it's I think it's important to recognize that those efforts provide not only a lot of great memories, but also that the hard work really pays off for the effort that they put in. So I wanted to make sure to recognize those folks and say good luck to the boys and girls basketball programs as they start their state tournaments. Just a couple of things, a couple of events that I was able to attend. Thank you to Green State. They hosted the last North Liberty Lunch Connection, so I was able to attend that. Very well attended event and a lot of good networking opportunities, relationship building, and just the importance of community. And then thanks, Greater Iowa City was here earlier. They had a really good event with probably close to 100 attendees from a networking standpoint. I was able to serve on a panel to represent North Liberty there. So just wanted to say thank you to those folks, and that's it for me, Mayor.
Thanks, Brian.
I just got one thing. I went to the Hy-Vee Centennial Center for the announcement of the events that are going to be held at the Hy-Vee Amphitheater, and it was pretty awesome to see. There's lots of free events for residents to attend, a variety of different types of events, from music to dance. That it's going to be awesome every month, and there's also going to be ticketed events, so I encourage everybody to take a look and participate. I'm really excited to go to several of them, actually, so that was pretty nice.
Thanks, Tanya.
I went to the Orchestra Iowa event. The sound was amazing.
Cool. All right, I'll move on to item 10, which is the 2080 agreement with Tiffin for fire services. And item A is resolution number 2026-13. This is a resolution approving the 2080 agreement between the City of North Liberty and the City of Tiffin for cost sharing for certain firefighting protective equipment. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Fortney. Any questions about this? Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Park,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Item 11 is Forever Green Road easement vacation, and item A is public hearing regarding proposed easement vacation. Anyone in the audience wishing to address council on this item? Tracy, have we received any comments from the public?
No.
I will close public hearing and move on to item B, which is resolution number 2026-14. This is a resolution vacating an easement for public highway held by the City of North Liberty in Forever Green Estates, Part 2. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Wason. Are there any questions or comments for this? Tracy, we have roll call, please.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 12 is Forever Green Road extension disposition of property. Item A is also a public hearing regarding proposed disposition of city-owned property. Anyone in the audience wishing to address council on this item? Tracy, have we received any comments?
no.
I will close the public hearing and move to item B, which is resolution number 2026-15. This is a resolution establishing future right-of-way and public utility easements for the Forever Green Road East Extension Project. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Wason. Any questions, comments? Tracy, roll call again, please.
Fortney,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And item 13 is the Iowa DOT agreement. This is resolution number 2026-16. This is a resolution approving the agreement for the maintenance and repair of primary roads between the City of North Liberty and the Iowa Department of Transportation. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Leibold. Ryan, is there anything, this was a question asked, but it's important to ask again, is there anything that's changed since our last agreement with the Iowa DOT?
Nope, this is identical and similar to agreements they have with the 900 other cities in Iowa.
The logo has changed.
Logo, okay. Thank you, guys. Any other questions or comments? Tracy, roll call, please.
Leibold,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 4 is Muddy Creek acquisition, and this is resolution number 2026-17. a resolution accepting the warranty deed from Green Meadow Owners Association to the City of North Liberty for Muddy Creek acquisition. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Leibold. Are there any questions about this? Anything to add?
Russ, do you want to add anything?
Just, when we started working with the UCD project and really started talking about the Muddy Creek corridor, we, through that process, talked to those property owners and asked the question, would you be willing to, give up? It's interesting that some sections of the Muddy Creek are actually privately owned, and would you be willing, and we have a lot of infrastructure in there. We've got sanitary sewer and the trail going through there, so we have lots of easements through there anyway. So and then the Muddy Creek, of course. So there's not much that can be done with the land anyway. And we reached out to some of these property owners, and they said, yeah, sure, we'll give you. So this is one. We're talking to the property owner directly to the north to piece together that entire corridor. Of course, we own where the community center is, that corridor to the north, and then to the south as well. So we're just trying to piece those together in order to maintain the Muddy Creek as also beautification efforts in the future.
Terrific. Any other comments or questions? Tracy, could we have a roll call, please?
Wason?
Aye.
Fortney?
Aye.
Park?
Aye.
Leibold?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 15 is Urban Central District, Lot 1 Developers Agreement, SMF Agreement, and Final Plat. Item A is resolution number 2026-18, and this is a resolution approving the Developers Agreement and Stormwater Maintenance Facilities Agreement for Urban Central District, Part 1, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Leibold, seconded by Fortney. I had to change around my numbers here, my initials. Are there any questions for staff on this one? Tracy, could I have a roll call, please?
Fortney?
Aye.
Park?
Aye.
Leibold?
Aye.
Wason?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item B is resolution number 2026-19, and this is a resolution approving the final plat for Urban Central District, Lot 1, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second. Third.
Moved by Leibold, seconded by Fortney. Any questions, or did you want to make any comments? There was a part about a lot that was attached to this up on Ranshaw Way. Is there anything of
Anything to add on the final plat for UCD?
Outlot A is Muddy Creek. Oh, okay. Yep. Sorry. There was a question. Outlot A, you can actually, if you see the arrow here, that's Lot 1. We'll expect to see in the spring multifamily hopefully being constructed on one of the multifamily buildings along on this section. The square lot to the east is Outlot A, and that is the section of Muddy Creek. So that would be another acquisition of trying to piece that together. And then the main portion to the west along Ranshaw Way, labeled Outlot B, that's for future development, but that's where we'll see the majority of the development for Urban Central District. But you'll see a replat on that forthcoming.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Russ? Tracy? Oh, Paul?
There.
Do you have any, I'm sorry, Grant, you were looking at something.
There's the green arrow pointing out.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I even made it and forgot about it.
Perfect. Tracy, can we have roll call, please?
Fortney?
Aye.
Wason?
Aye.
Leibold?
Aye.
Park?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 16 is the FY 2026-27 budget, and item A is resolution number 2026-20, a resolution setting time and place for a public hearing for the purpose of considering and consolidated general fund tax levy for the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Leibold. Any questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Leibold?
Aye.
Park?
Aye.
Wason?
Aye.
Fortney?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 17 is animal code ordinance, and this is third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2026-02, an ordinance amending chapters 55, 56, and 57 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of North Liberty concerning and reorganizing provision for animal control, pet licenses, and dangerous and potentially dangerous animals. Could I have a motion for consideration and adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Wason. Any last questions on this one?
So just the adding that word's all covered under this.
Yep, in the blurb in the packet that we've added one additional definition that we wanted to cram in there for defining a certain term having to do with provocation. But otherwise, no changes in.
Okay. Tracy, roll call, please.
Fortney,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 18 is SST for Evergreen LLC rezoning. This is our third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2026-03, an ordinance amending the zoning designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa from RS6 single unit residence district, RM8 and RM12 multi-unit residence districts to RS6. From RS6, RM8, and RM12 to RD10 2 units residence district. From RM12 to RM14 multi-unit residence district. And from RM8 and RM12 to C2 highway commercial district. Thank you, whoever shortened this.
You are welcome.
Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
A second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Wason. Are there any other questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 19 is SST for Evergreen preliminary plat. And item A is staff and planning commission recommendations, Russ.
Okay, so this looks very similar to the concept that we reviewed at the public hearing for the rezoning. Very minor changes, but pretty much same layout, 51 lots. Again, the main corridor going through is Alexander Way. There would be only one access to West for Evergreen Road, and those commercial lots in the front would access from that and secondary roads. And just a couple other boring maps showing utilities and contours. But the Planning Commission, we did have a good neighbor meeting in conjunction with the rezoning on December 18th. As you recall, we had one person attend that meeting outside of city staff and the applicant. There was one objection, so we've included that in the background material as well. And then on February the 3rd, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the preliminary plat. Thank you, Mayor.
Any questions for Russ? Thank you. Is there an applicant presentation?
Lacey Stutzman with MMS Consultants here on behalf of SST North Liberty and SST for Evergreen. I don't have a presentation per se, but wanted to let you know that I'm here to answer any questions that may arise.
Appreciate seeing this preliminary plat, or the in the zoning.
And I know, sorry to just jump in, I think there was a delay on the first one. I think if I understand correctly, Lacey, they're probably looking to get under construction soon.
Yeah, I think that's their intent. We did submit construction plans to the city last week, I believe it was, to start that process.
Are there any questions? Thank you guys for sitting through this and for taking photographs.
Yeah.
Item C is resolution number 2026-21. This is a resolution approving the preliminary subdivision plat for the sanctuary at North Bend, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Leibold. Are there any other questions? Tracy will take a roll call, please.
Fortney,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And finally, item 20 is our zoning ordinance. This is also a third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2026-04, an ordinance amending chapter 167 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances governing definitions, chapter 168 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances governing use standards, and Chapter 169 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances governing other accessory uses. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Leibold. Any last questions on this one? Tracy will take a roll call, please.
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Finally, is there any old business? New business? I will entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved Fortney, seconded by Wason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?